Guys, how's it going? It's Al. Wildcard Weekend is here on DraftKings. We're going to take a look at, we have not one, not two, well, we do have three. There's three slates that we have to look at for this weekend in terms of this video. I was trying to do the LeBron meme, but like it didn't go 4, 5, 6, 7. There's only three. So we have three NFL DFS slates. There's one on Saturday, a 2-gamer, a 3-gamer that exists on Sunday, and then the overarching 6-gamer that goes Saturday through Monday that obviously has some more players. That's my favorite slate on the weekend, probably followed by the Sunday slate. And then there's the 2-gamer. If you like short slate football, this weekend is for you, but thankfully they put in the full weekend, Saturday through Monday slate as well for those of us who like a little bit larger slates, a little bit more game theory, a little more late swap, a little more things that you can do with those sorts of games to play against everybody else. So there's something for everybody. And I'm going to talk to my Twitch chat as long as we can. Usually this show is like 45 minutes to an hour. I think that things are a little bit straightforward this week. And I don't think that this video is going to be 45 minutes to an hour. But I will take their questions as long as they have them. So thank you guys on YouTube for being here. Drop a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, ring the notifications bell, leave me a reply down below, and let me know which of the three slates you like the best, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday. And let's go.
He's a legend.
All right, so we'll bring in the chat here. Let's talk about everything that we have just as in an overarching sense. So I'll take a look over here on DraftKings really quick first. We have the Saturday, so these are just kind of the high dollar ones. There's stuff everywhere. They got a millionaire maker. Let's sort by total prices, right? So they got the millionaire maker on the Sunday slate. They have the showdown 2.25 millionaire maker for the Monday slate. They have a millionaire maker on the Saturday slate. So 3 millionaire makers this weekend on all three of the different slates. Taking a look at the different slates, the Saturday slate, Seattle against San Francisco, Chargers against Jacksonville. There's going to be spots you can pick in this game, but most of the traffic is going to be here on Chargers and Jacksonville, and for good reason. Sunday slate, 3 games. Miami against Buffalo. Miami not starting Tua, who has got multiple brain injuries this year, unfortunately. It's a sad situation. Obviously, I would like for him to start, but we want what's best for him and his health. And right now, he is clearly not healthy. Lamar Jackson in that Baltimore-Cincinnati game didn't practice Wednesday. Not sure he's going to play this weekend. I'm also not sure. I checked beforehand. I'm not sure that news has broken on any of this yet, so we'll find out. But if he doesn't play, that takes another superstar quarterback off the slate, and it makes it also that like other players like Mark Andrews are not as viable. New York, Minnesota going to be where everybody focuses on for this game. And then obviously Buffalo, Josh Allen stacks in that first game, as Miami is not very good at stopping the pass. And then the Monday night game is Dallas and Tampa Bay. Couple of values in that one, but this is the 6-game slate, obviously overarching with everything. I think DraftKings did an interesting thing with prices. They've really, really, really dialed them back. They've forced you into a couple of different situations too. Not a lot of guys in this mid-range, right? We don't have Lamar Jackson. Tua's going to be out. You have Herbert and Burrow, but you're either paying, not you. Most people are either paying up for Josh Allen or going for one of the cheaper guys, Kirk Cousins, Trevor Lawrence, Daniel Jones, who are behind me and you can't see them, who are all under 6K, 56, 57, and 5,900, which means that players on the full slate like Dak Prescott, Justin Herbert, and Joe Burrow, all of them are going to be underplayed, and their stacks are going to be underplayed as well. So that's how you would get contrarian on that main slate, not main slate, on that 6-game slate. I don't know what the main slate is. Sunday is the main slate. Which one has the largest prize pools? Chat was just talking about how the 6-gamer has way smaller prize pools than the other one. Yes, of course. Look, DraftKings is a business, and DraftKings is trying to do what it can to churn as much money through its system as possible, as raked events cause them to make money. So if they have if they have a 2-gamer on Saturday, pay that out, have people jump back into the Sunday slate, and then have people from that cash them out, jump into the Monday night slate. They get hit 3 times as opposed to Saturday through Monday. They only make rake 1 time. So obviously they want to herd people where they can make the most money. Do y'all have any questions about this slate? Because it doesn't look like you do. I'm looking at chat and nobody's saying anything. I know that Mike wanted to talk about the Saturday slate, but I want to know what he would like to talk about actually, because it seems very, like I said, everything seems super straightforward. Play the best plays. I mean, that's one way to do it. There's some clear value in that New York game where I think everybody's going to go. Does Mike Williams play on Saturday night? I have no idea. That's the big matzo ball that's kind of hanging out there. Would I consider Mitchell and McCaffrey in the same lineup on Saturday slate? No, I probably would not do that. If I was going to play a running back from that game, I would play one of them. Probably wouldn't play both of them. If you wanted to go over to ESPN, my Best Buys article is up already for this weekend. It includes Jacksonville stacks. I don't really talk about stacks all that much, but like there it is. Look, Travis Etienne right there on the cover. You're going to stack the running back, apparently. I will get that link up in our Bitly later, but right now just go to ESPN, go to the search column here and type my last name, Zeidenfeld, and it'll come up with Best Buys. Easiest way to get to that. I looked at it through the lens of just these are all the best plays over the entire weekend as opposed to one versus the other. Zay Jones or Palmer if Mike Williams is out. I think Zay Jones is going to be higher played, so I think that Palmer is a very solid contrarian play because, again, when you're looking at a 2-game slate, right, if we're just talking about Saturday, everybody's going to be highly played. All the players, like you're going to look at everybody, they're all going to have 40 to 80% on them because that's just the way that 2-game slate football works out. The question is, who are you playing from Seattle and San Francisco? Obviously, we're not going to play anybody in the flex in this game, right? In the quarterback spot from this game because they just don't have super high ceilings. But like, I guess they could get there. I don't think Purdy gives us enough. So I think that you're looking at either Trevor Lawrence or Justin Herbert in this one. But you can get to McCaffrey, and he's a monster, and we know what he can do. But in order for McCaffrey to be viable or as viable, I think that Eckler has to have one of these games where he has 10 points, 14 points. And he's had such a high ceiling, specifically in games where one or both of Mike Williams or Keenan Allen are out, that if Mike Williams is out, that's just more targets that are going to funnel towards Austin Eckler. With both of them in 4, 4, 4, and 3 over the past month, with both of those guys healthy, now with Mike Williams hurting with back spasms, something that you would assume that he's going to have full range of motion. Back spasms don't normally put you out for a week. They put you out for a couple days. You go to a chiropractor, they sort it out, they loosen the muscles, they stop them from pulling and locking you down. It takes 2-3 days for you to get back to kind of a solid range of motion, be able to be athletic and whatever it is that you're trying to do. And then at the NFL level, they have some really great drugs that are going to loosen those muscles right up and make him not feel any pain. So I'm going to assume that Mike Williams is going to play, but I'm not a doctor, so we'll trust them. If he's out, I think that Eckler is a lot closer to Christian McCaffrey than if Mike Williams is in. And I think that paying up the extra to get to 8,500 instead of the 8,100 can make a lot of sense if you're building a full lineup for that game. So like if you were to put McCaffrey, obviously you're not going to put him in the flex. If you build a McCaffrey lineup, right, as your only play from this game, and then you onslaught the hell out of this one, it's not difficult. Here, find values, right? There. Zay Jones is 4,300. Keenan Allen's 7,000. You still have 4,600 to go. Like, I wouldn't even mind going with the 49ers defense and leaving 5,300 for these last 2 spots on Saturday and pick spots because you can certainly fit them, right? We go Christian Kirk in this spot, and then we still have 4,700, and you can find somebody else to play down at this price, even with the 49ers. You got to get a little cheaper. Fine. I understand that you got to get a little bit cheaper. If you wanted to play the Jaguars defense and think that they're going to get some sacks and whatever else, because it's a 2-game slate and playing guys against your own stack is not as much of a problem on a shorter slate. You have room for like Palmer in the case that Mike Williams doesn't play. There's a lot of ways you can go and a lot of ways to super stack this game. You got to hope that like the 49ers score 4 or 5 touchdowns. If you're not doing this, if you wanted to get away from something like this, which is where I think most of the crowd is going to go, getting to San Francisco and being right about the touchdowns on the 49ers is going to be really hard with McCaffrey, Kittle, Ayuk, and Samuel all there. And then the possibility of vultures from Mitchell, Price, Juszczyk, Jennings, Ray. CMC Eckler will get you different. I don't know if you can do that optimally, but yes, it would. Because Etienne's too cheap. Etienne is way too cheap against the Chargers defense that has done horribly against the run, allowing the most yards per carry, like 5.6 yards per carry on the ground, also allowing over 8 yards on first down. And Eckler's getting the ball on first down for them as he has seen the majority over the last 8 weeks of their first down touches. Contrarian large GPP Saturday plays. They suck. They're all the fringies. That's it. There's no way to say this is a great play. It's why there's going to be no 5 under 5 video this week. One, there's not enough games on the slate for anybody reasonable with a high ceiling to be under 5%. Your low percentage plays are anybody under 20%. And the players that are going to be under 20% on the Saturday slate, like, I don't even think Ken Walker III is going to be under 20%. And what are the chances that he gets you enough points? Because it's not about Ken Walker. If you're playing Ken Walker, because I'm going to be different, because people aren't going to play Ken Walker and they're road underdogs against the toughest defense in the league. And like, what if he has 2 touchdowns and 100 yards? Okay, what if he does? That also means that Travis Etienne at the same price needs to have a bad game. It also means that one of Eckler and McCaffrey needs to have a bad game. That like total between 2 of those 3 have to total for 22 points for you to run away with Ken Walker. It's gross. Every touchdown is going to matter. So if the name players score touchdowns in those games, Etienne, Keenan Allen, Austin Eckler, Christian McCaffrey, Deebo Samuel, George Kittle, it's going to be difficult to get different on Saturday. It's just going to be difficult to get different on Saturday. The way to get different on Saturday is like if Gerald Everett has a big game. Would double tight end be contrarian on a 2-game slate? Double tight end is more viable on a shorter slate, typically, because you know that they're going to run a lot of routes. They're going to have a lot of snaps. So like using them as value instead of like Juwan Jennings or Ray McLeod, like that's how you get different smartly. But Jennings is a fine value play if you wanted to go that direction. Lockett's fine if you want to go that direction. You know that Seattle, when they get behind, nobody's going to there's no next week. So once teams get behind in the playoffs, they just start dropping back to throw. The other way to get contrarian, play the 49ers defense. I don't expect them to be the highest played defense on the slate, as everybody's going to try and stuff as much volume from that as they possibly can. And as you saw, you kind of need the savings. So they're going to gamble with a cheaper defense. But the 49ers defense is ridiculous. How do I feel about Hasty? Again, they're all dart throws, right? If we're talking about guys that play 20 snaps, I feel like they're dart throws. There's no other way for me to think about them. You know, can he score a touchdown? Yes. Do I expect Hasty to play 30 snaps? I can look, but I don't believe so. You know, I don't think that that's going to be something that has been what he's done. Last week against Tennessee, he played 24 of 49 snaps. So he was in there about half the time last week. The week before against Houston, 25 of 63 snaps in a game where they went to the backups because they were in mop-up duty. In the other 3 games prior to that, the Jets, the Cowboys, and the Titans, 18 of 72, 16 of 70, 18 of 72. You're expecting 20 snaps if you play James Hasty. It is tough to get there on 20 snaps. Is Kittle a waste this week or a dart throw? Kittle is thin. And I know that sounds weird, but there is going to be a regression monster that is going to come for George Kittle at some point. You can't score 7 touchdowns on 18 catches and think that that's normal, right? It's not like he's had phenomenal volume in the absence of Deebo Samuel. He's had okay volume in the absence of Deebo Samuel. He's just had an awful lot of touchdown scoring on very little throws. You know, it's not like they're throwing the ball a lot. And if we look at his box score, 4 balls, 2 touchdowns, 4 balls, 1 touchdown, caught 6 here for 2 touchdowns, 4 here for 2 touchdowns. It's not sustainable. It's not sustainable moving forward. And that's with a 3-headed monster. And now we're going to add this dude back into the mix. He ran around a little bit in week 18, right? They didn't play him a full. They were just kind of getting him worked out, kind of, you know, getting him used to it and back. Last week, I'm looking over here at the snap counts. Last week, he played 42 of 62 snaps in a game that they really didn't have to utilize him, give him heavy workload. Ayuk has shown that he's extremely solid too. We've seen Brandon Ayuk do some things, but we can't pretend that this game here, where Brock Purdy threw it 35 times, is going to be anything close to what they expect to do or game plan to do. He looks like a co-star in a sitcom, right? Also starring Brock Purdy. 20 attempts, 22 attempts, 26 attempts, and you're splitting these between 4 guys. You're splitting all of those attempts between 4 different people. The path to success for anybody on San Francisco is completely reliant on scoring touchdowns. And while he has thrown for multiple touchdowns in every one of his starts because of how good and how efficient this offense is, splitting 2 because like he's had 2, and 3. Splitting those 2 touchdowns between 4 different dudes is difficult. And the only one who adds the ones on the ground right now is Christian McCaffrey. They may add some more Debo runs now that he's back and Purdy's under center, but they're not as necessary as they were in previous years. So a lot of 49ers are very thin right now. The Kittle connection is undeniable. I'm going to say that George Kittle is not going to catch one third of George Kittle's catches will not continue to go for touchdowns in perpetuity. That's me. Look, here's the limb. This is the entire limb. This is me out on the limb saying that George Kittle will not catch 1 touchdown for every 3 catches he makes for the rest of his career. Not going to happen. Remember when I said something similar to that about Deebo Samuel this summer, and like the Twitter replies and the YouTube replies came after me with pitchforks and torches lit. They were full on rioting. Smiz riots in the chat. What do you mean? Deebo Samuel's super good. He can keep scoring running touchdowns from outside of 30 yards. It's totally going to happen. You're going to look like an idiot, streamer. It's not a thing that is sustainable. It's why inside the 5 carries are so valuable, because those directly lead to touchdowns. It's why end zone targets, where all the guy has to do is go and put 2 feet down and it's instantly a touchdown. Those are much easier translated to touchdowns inside the 5 carries, end zone targets. And George Kittle's getting a good amount of end zone targets, I agree, but like, you got a quarterback that throws it 20 times. You've got 18 catches, 7 of them went for touchdowns. Not going to happen. Not moving forward. He might catch a touchdown this week and people go, ha, you're wrong. Like, no, it's just not going to continue moving forward. Is weather potentially going to affect the San Francisco-Seattle game? I have not looked at weather yet because it's Thursday. FanDuel pricing sucks. In what way? I haven't even looked at FanDuel. I haven't played FanDuel in like a month. I'm like DraftKings and Rainmakers on DraftKings specific at this point. Like I play high stakes, low entry, limited entry, small field, and I play Rainmakers. That's where I'm making the money this year. And in a very Sun Tzu sort of way, when your opponent is weak attack, when your opponent is strong retreat, I'm going to keep doing the things that are making me a lot of money. 2-game slate, are cash versus GPP lineups more similar, more different? It's just, there's no ways to get different. You try and correlate, maybe you try and work in 1 or 2 low percentage plays, but like the smaller the field and the lower the entries, the easier it is to get different smartly, because there's less iterations of lineups. Can't a good lineup get too Can't get a good lineup too expensive? Oh, on FanDuel. FanDuel pricing is tight, is what you're telling me. When do ETR projections come out? They're out. They're on Establish the Run. I was perusing them earlier. They look very similar to everyone else this week. Friend of yours suggested 4 for 4. They do a good job. They have for years. I am not partnered with them, but I know the people who have run the site. I know, know Josh, know John. They're good dudes, and they care a lot. Josh now is retired. They sold 4 for 4 to BetSperts, so now it is a BetSperts product. Rain and 9 mile again. I worry about weather forecast the morning of. Weather changes. Am I bidding on any of the Rainmaker cards with the, what are they, the Moonbirds? No, I'm not bidding on the Moonbirds. Not sure why it's not loaded. Send Labs a support ticket. Say, hey, I have the ETR extension and it's not loading the projections into the thing. Would a cash or tournament lineup be better for 90, 100 people, winner take all on DraftKings? So the higher, if you have to beat literally everyone else, you don't want a 50th percentile lineup. Coming in second out of 100 pays the same as coming in 100th out of 100 in that sort of game. The only place to be is all the way up top. So you have to build a tournament lineup. A tournament lineup is one that eschews floor for the possibility of extra ceiling and differentiation from the field when something goes wrong. For the people that love, that play the chalk play, if that chalk play who has a really high floor ceiling combination ends up at his floor, you can zoom past him somewhere else. It's just, there's less places to zoom past on a 2-game slate. If Mike Williams plays, do I like Carter, Jennings, or any other low-priced wide receivers? Not really. Y'all love the Saturday slate. That seems to be all you guys want to talk about is the Saturday slate. Let's dip into the Sunday slate. The Sunday slate basically has this game. Your 2 best values, maybe on the entire weekend, are Hodgins and James, in whatever order you want them to be in. At quarterback on this slate, you have Josh Allen, who has rushing ability, Lamar Jackson, who's probably not going to play unless he does. If he does, great. Joe Burrow, no rushing ability. Kirk Cousins, no rushing ability. Brown has rushing ability, but like, are you really playing him? You know, he's a release valve at 5K, I guess, if you want to go that route in the late game. But I kind of feel like everybody's going to do that, and everybody's going to do this, and everybody's going to go here. Nobody's going to play Mark Andrews because the homie's out. So they're probably going to play Hawkinson. Like, they're just going to load up on this game. So like the 3 games in the middle, Dolphins, Bills, 44, Giants 47.5, and Vikings favored by 3. Bengals 6.5 favorites, 43.5. So like, this is one route that I think people are going to go. You can see you still got 14-8 to fill out a running back, flex, and a defense. This is like, can you play Danny Dimes naked this week? I mean, I guess. I'm not sure what that would get you though. What is the goal, right? Like, that sounds to me like you want to do something like play Josh Allen stacks, but can't afford Josh Allen. So like, it kind of feels like you want to play, I'm guessing you want to play Chase, Diggs, or Diggs and Tyreek Hill as correlation, but you can't get to Josh Allen optimally in that lineup. So you're going to save yourself 2,300 by going down to Daniel Jones. But like, you're going to play Daniel Jones. You're going to play one of those. Hey guys, if you were watching the stream yesterday, you know that we had a massive outage in my area, which caused the stream to drop right in the middle of that thought about playing Daniel Jones without any of his pass catchers to get access to Josh Allen stacks. It's the next day now. I'm recording this off stream. I'm going to finish that thought. I am then going to go in and work on the full game slate, give you guys a couple of contrarian plays because we can't really do 5 under 5. So apologies that this wasn't up on Thursday as I had planned, but I'm happy that the computer is working again. And so I wish you the best of luck this weekend, but let's get back to what we were talking about with the question of Daniel Jones being used naked this week. I still feel like if you're playing this, you're going to have to find value. And the obvious value with him is most popular going to be Richie James Jr. A little bit less popular is going to be Hodgins. So I still don't think that it's viable to play Daniel Jones naked on the Sunday only slate. If you think that he's going to have a monster game, the paths to him having a game that's going to help you win are going to include passing touchdowns. Yes, there is a possibility that he runs for 100 yards and runs in 3 touchdowns and then he is all by himself, but like, you're playing for a very, very narrow window in that case. On the Sunday slate in particular, I think that the best contrarian stack in a good way is going to be Joe Burrow stacks through Chase and possibly one of, I mean, if you can get to Burrow, Chase, Higgins, you don't necessarily need to bring back on Baltimore's side. He can do enough for you there to get it done because I'm not having the utmost confidence in Baltimore with their pass catcher situation right now. If we switch over to the 6-game slate, obviously a smaller slate for the tournaments. I wish that they had made this the main slate, but they didn't. Hopefully they'll do that for the second week of the playoffs, make this the big slate, and then have smaller slates on Saturday and Sunday. But it is kind of what it is. Not having Jackson and Tua for this slate really hurts. I think that the most popular quarterbacks are going to be fourfold. I think you're going to get some Josh Allen, and obviously they're going to be stacked because the larger the slate, the more you can get to stacking possibilities. I think that having Cousins stacks is going to be popular. I believe that on the other side of that game, Daniel Jones stacks are going to be extremely popular. And more popular than Cousins because of the rushing possibility and him being the only other running quarterback on the slate other than Josh Allen. And Trevor Lawrence stacks are going to be extremely popular. Those are going to be the 4 most popular stacks out of the 6 games that are on the slate. That to me means that Dak Prescott through Schultz, who is in a very good spot against Tampa Bay, and CeeDee Lamb are very much in play in terms of contrarian stacks to differentiate your lineups off of what the chalk is going to be. Already mentioned the Joe Burrow stacks. They are just as or they'll be less played as well than those 4 main quarterback plays. And then Justin Herbert seems to be the forgotten man on the slate. Gotta love it when a guy who has the possibility for 3 touchdown passes and 350 yards passing in a fast-paced, high-output game might end up looking like a really good contrarian play for a couple of reasons on the 6-game slate. One, he's very easy to stack through. Mike Williams out. That means Palmer is more attractive. That means somebody like Carter is more attractive. That also means that Gerald Everett gets a bit of a bump as well. As does Austin Eckler. If you wanted to play him in those stacks, more than fine. And bring it back with literally anybody on Jacksonville. The other thing that people are going to avoid with this game on a 6-game slate is they want to leave themselves swappability. So I could see people playing into later stacks with Cincinnati, with Minnesota, to give themselves room, especially in smaller field or higher stake stuff where I play. Smaller field limited entry, if you're playing in the 100 bands, gives you that optionality as well to have options in this Dallas Tampa Bay game. People don't want to lock up their lineups on a Saturday when it doesn't pay off until Monday. They want to give themselves flexibility if it's single or limited entry, which to me means that could possibly hold down Herbert doubles even more so than it would have otherwise. So all the same players that we've talked about on this video are certainly in play, and you guys can go after it as best you can. I wish you all the best of luck. Thank you guys for watching. I apologize for the technical difficulties on yesterday's stream that has caused this video to come out 24 hours later. So thank you guys for being here. Look out for another video right there.
He's a legend.